Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shalom. Welcome to the temple. We begin our service as we sing together, Ma Yafeh Hayom Shabbat Shalom, how beautiful the day is, it is Shabbat. Turn now to page 172 as we join together singing Ma Tovu. As we turn to page 195 for the Berlow. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, יוצר אור ובורא חושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל, המאיר לארץ ולדרים עליה ברחמים, ובטובו מחדש בכל יום תמיד מעשה וראשית. מה רבו מעשיך אדוני, כולם בחוכמה עשית, מלאה הארץ קנייניך. תתברך אדוני אלוהינו, על שבח מעשה ידיך, ועל מאורי אור שעשית יפארו חסלה. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני, יוצר המאורות. And we read together, the world is sunlight restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning, my Torah, my special human gift is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch Ata Adonai Yotzer Hameorot. And we turn to page 200 for the calling of the Shema. Please be seated.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
We read together, ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. And we turn to page 204 to sing together מי כמוך. We rise as we turn to page 205 for the tefillah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Source of all being, we turn to you as did our people in ancient days. They beheld you in the heavens, they felt you in their hearts, they sought you in their lives. Their quest is ours. Help us to see the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Teach us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring nearer the world we envision, one of justice, freedom, and peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. And we read together, You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the door frame, I begin to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold, that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions waiting to be posed. They filled me with wonder. Sit with me, Eternal Teacher. Encourage my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch Ata Adonai, Mechaye Hakol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכינו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישביענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהים, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. בשבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדור אותו מרית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדור אותו מרית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדור אותו ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשו אדוני, עשו אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדור אותו ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדור אותו ברית עולם.
We turn now to page 216 for the prayer for shalom, the prayer for peace and wellness and wholeness. O God, may we never become complacent, faltering in our effort to build a world of peace. Let the nations know and understand that justice and right are better than dominion and conquest. May all come to see that it is not by might nor by power, but by your Spirit that life prevails. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch ata Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. Take a moment for a silent prayer. The Mishaberach, the prayer for healing and courage and strength in our lives, is on page 253. As we sing the Mishaberach, we name in our hearts those we know that need healing and courage and strength. And this Shabbat, we think especially of our American sisters and brothers, friends, in Hawaii that have lost their homes, lost family members, those who perished, those who are wounded because of the horrible fire.
And let us say, Amen. Mishemerach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu blazos in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We turn now to page 244 for Seder Kriyat Torah LeShabbat, the order of reading from the Torah on Shabbat. Please rise. Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Our God is one, Adonai is great, holy is God's name.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai.
Please be seated. We're at the Torah portion that is called Re'eh, meaning you should see, you should watch with your own eyes. It has a lot of laws in it. It has a discussion about choosing between blessing and curses. It has laws regarding which animals we're allowed to eat and which animals we're not allowed to eat. And it also has a lot about how do we deal with those who are less fortunate in our society. What do we do with poverty and poor people, and how do we help those who are poor? How do we make sure that our hearts won't be hardened and we won't deal harshly with those who are less fortunate and need our help? And also with the worst situation of poverty in the Bible, what happens when somebody has to sell themselves? What happens with those who are selling themselves to servitude to their fellow persons? That's the part that we're going to read. There are other parts of this Torah portion, but we're not going to take an entire year in order to just study that. So we're going to read just a little bit. We're going to read in Deuteronomy 15 from verse 12. But before that, we're going to ask Jennifer to lead us on page 250 with the blessing over reading from the Torah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai נותן התורה. אמן.
כי מכר לך אחיך העברי או העברייה, ועבדך 6 שנים, ובשנה השביעית תשלחנו חופשי מעמך. וכי תשלחנו חופשי מעמך, לא תשלחנו ריקם. הענק תעניק לו מצונך ומגרונך ומיקבך, אשר ברכך אדוני אלוהיך, תיתן לו. וזכרת כי עבד היית בארץ מצרים, ויבטך אדוני אלוהיך. על כן אנוכי מצווך את הדבר הזה היום. והיה כי יאמר אליך, לא אצא מעמך, כי אהבך ואת ביתך, כי טוב לו עמך. ולקחת את המרצע ונתת באוזנו ובדלת, והיה לך עבד עולם. ואף לאמתך תעשה כן, לא יקשה בעיניך בשלחך אותו חופשי מעמך, כי משנה שכר עבדיך 6 שנים, וברכך אדוני אלוהיך בכל אשר תעשה. If a fellow Hebrew, man or woman, is sold to you, they shall serve you 6 years, and in the 7th year you shall set them free. When you set them free, do not let them go empty-handed. Furnish them out of the flock, threshing floor, and vat, with which your God Adonai has blessed you. Bear in mind that you are slaves in the land of Egypt, and your God Adonai redeemed you. Therefore I enjoin this commandment upon you. But should they say to you, I do not want to leave you, for they love you and your household, and are happy with you, you shall take an awl and put it through their ear into the door, and they shall become your slave in perpetuity. Do the same with your female slave. When you do set either one free, do not feel aggravated, for in 6 years you have been given double the service of a hired worker. Moreover, your God Adonai will bless you in all you do. So what happens when someone is so poor that they have to sell first their house, their land, their way of living, their livelihood, and then they have to sell themselves? There is no such thing, according to here, as servitude or slavery for eternity. After 6 years, you have to set them free. But we should look carefully at the language of how this is all described. They're not described as slaves, not even servants. It says your Hebrew king's person, a man or woman, in the Hebrew, achicha, which is your kin, your fellow kinsperson. Ach, I think also kin is the same thing in English, means also your sibling. That means literally someone from your closest family, even though a king's person could be someone that is like 8 times removed. But the idea is that you should feel like almost that it's your sister or brother that are doing that. And when you send them after 6 years, you send them not empty-handed, but it's very interesting to see what you're supposed to give them. You're supposed to give them not money and not food, but from, well, it sounds like food, but it's not food, from your herd, from your flock, from what you have in your vineyard, what you have from your grains. Those are actually means of production. And then it says, don't send them empty-handed, in Hebrew rekam. Don't send them with nothing, because if you send them with nothing, then they'll be right back at where they are. And what you're actually giving them are means of production. You're sharing your own means of production, so they will be back on their own feet, and it would be again a fair attempt for them to be like regular people in the society, not dependent on anyone, and not, God forbid, having to resell themselves. And all of that is for one reason. And all of a sudden the word slave or servant is mentioned. Because once you are a servant or a slave in the land of Egypt. You know, one of the hardest things when you are telling a society, when you are telling an entire people that they have to treat the people that are poor fairly, that they have to treat the weakest links of society fairly, is to get people to have empathy towards the people that need their help. Because what normally happens is that we look at the people that are in the fringes of society and we do not see ourselves in them. If it comes to the foreigners here or to the strangers here, or people that are from minorities that don't fare as well, then it's the other, it's someone that is not me. And the most difficult task is to make people understand that you could be exactly there, and you really are helping your, what in Hebrew is called achicha, what is called your king's person, your sibling, that we're all in that same boat. And God is doing it here by reminding us our story begins not as nobles, not as rich and wealthy and successful people. We were once, and for a very long time, servants or slaves also in Egypt. So anyone that becomes your servant is not different than you. And you could be there, and you were there. So you have to not only treat them well, not only send them out after a period of 6 years, which goes with the sabbatical year that was mentioned before that, but also you should always remember that they are the same as you, they are not different than you, and then you can feel empathy, and then you could really be helpful and create a much more fair society. Let's say the blessing after reading from the Quran.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. Al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe, b'yad Moshe. Al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe, b'yad Moshe. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael.
We turn now to page 283 for the Aleinu, and we read together at the middle of page 283. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים
turn to the top of page 287 as we read together. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember especially Jose Maza, Henry Berg Brousseau, David Sean Bailey, Paula Erdley, Gilbert Ades Jr., Trudy Adler, Ryan Custer, Ellis Essig, Mildred Getzel, Richard Sloan, Martin Baker, Bessie Netter, Lynn Gotti, Charles Goldin, Selma Kaplan, Harold Kramer, Martin Liebman, Daniel Renko, Leonard Rosenthal, Eleanor Baker, Priscilla Diamond, Fred Herman, Alex Hertzman, Paul Sondheim, Edna Yarmouth, Harry L. Davis, Edith Rubin, Anatoly Tarakanova, Isabel Atlas, Leonard Dickman, Miles Friedman, Janita Bloom Jacobs, Joe Bass, Norman Friedberg, Sol Tachman, Sol Perlmutter, Anatoly Gottlieb. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. With the blessed memories of our own loved ones, we rise as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Please join me. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה. May the memory of our loved ones come to be a blessing and a benediction to us all. Amen. Our closing song is Oseh Shalom. We ask God to bring peace and wholeness to all humanity.
Israel,
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
May it be a Shabbat of Shalom to us all, and please wish Shabbat Shalom to someone you never met before. Shabbat Shalom.